Hey everybody, I hope you can hear me okay. I am here in a big city and you can maybe see, if I hold it correctly, you can see the ocean back there. I have gone for a few days, a couple nights to help out a dear one who has a procedure, a medical procedure being done here at in Honolulu. So I'm here on Oahu, where there's a little bit better cardiology care than on Maui. So I'm here in a hotel and I wanted to share this view with you and just the big city vibe. It's so crazy. There's so many skyscrapers around here and condos. I just can't believe how many condos Honolulu is now. Well, yeah, Waikiki. I'm in Waikiki. But I wanted to share something that came up in my group session with the ladies in my grief program, and we're talking about grief, we're connecting about grief, and we each tell, personal stories. And one that came up for me briefly, just to kind of focus in our purpose of doing this and connecting with each other on this topic, is this. When I was probably in my 20s, it was probably when I was in my 20s, so a couple decades ago, I saw a video, the documentary on Woodstock. I'll figure out what it's called exactly and post it in the comments or in the description. But I was really amazed by the announcements that came up during Woodstock over the loudspeaker. I mean, it's just a whole amazing experience, Woodstock, to see like how many people ended up there and how they all got along and how they all, got their needs met to a degree, maybe not all getting their needs met, but the peacefulness of that quantity, that mass of people was just astounding. That with all the chaos, how smoothly it actually was run, as smooth as they could do. But there was a comment in there, several announcements came up, and I'll also put a link to what I showed the group about the brown acid being bad. And for anybody watching this video who was actually at Woodstock, you could probably attest to it. And apparently there was like a lot of bad acid circulating, and people were having some really rough goes of it. Like, it's like basically having poison in your system. And there were several announcements made about it. Don't take it, but people had already taken it and were still taking it, that had been given it. And so the subsequent announcements were made, and the one that really struck me and that I feel like gave me this epiphany in my life and changed the trajectory of what I was doing with my life was this. The guy gets on the loudspeaker and says, some of you have gotten a hold and taken this brown acid. It's poison. It's not going to go well for you. If you've taken it, head over now to the medic tent. There's someone there who can help you. And what we're doing is having the people that have just gone through this, quote, bad trip, they're going to be the ones most qualified to turn around when they're feeling better to help the next people who are going through this, quote, bad trip, because they know exactly what it's like. So they're the most qualified to help. And that, to me, is the epitome of what makes someone want to help someone with a death experience, and definitely what guided me in my trajectory and my next steps and my purpose in life was just having gone through some very complicated grief and difficult death experience, having lost my mom at 19 and being one of the main caregivers at her bedside, and just watching all the fallout from that and the grief afterwards and the changes in life that catapulted, and the rapid rate at which changes happened for me at a young age. So I heard that and I thought, oh my God, yeah, I'm the most qualified to turn around and help people who have just gone through this, quote, same bad trip. And so I was also empowering the ladies in there. I mean, we are the most equipped to share. And it's kind of like, one of them commented like, yeah, it's like a duh. Like, why don't we help each other when we go through these tough experiences in life? But people get silent about it. It's isolating, especially if it was traumatic, and we feel separate, and yet we're most qualified to help others who are going through it. And it took me years to really start doing that, and to really start feeling like I'm making a difference with others who've been through a difficult death experience with their grief. I had to learn how to be qualified, but I am definitely, because that was my initial wound in life, I am definitely the most qualified person to help. And yeah, I mean, other experiences that came up in the group were like someone who had a miscarriage, and it's kind of a hush-hush thing. People aren't talking about it, but yet the other people who've had a miscarriage are the most qualified, and they could be sharing their experience with other women. Another thing that came up was breastfeeding. Nobody really talks about how difficult breastfeeding can be, and one of my lovely ladies in that group is a breastfeeding specialist, and she was telling her story about how, if people could just get some more instruction on it, it wouldn't be so difficult. And that's something that women can share with each other, and yet it's not talked about it that much. And it's just like grief, it's just not talked about that much. And yet it can be a pretty difficult trip to go through. So here we are, equipped to help each other, especially if we've just been through it and it's fresh and we can remember what the experience is and it's palpable. We're really at a vantage point to support others who are also going through that difficult time in life. I'll link one of the announcements. I wasn't able to find the full announcement from this Woodstock movie that I'm referring to, but I found part of it talking about how the brown acid isn't great, and I'll post that in the description so you kind of get an idea what I'm talking about. But if you watch the Woodstock documentary, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's been a while since I've heard it, so I'm probably paraphrasing not that clearly, but the concept's there. So, reporting live, Thanatology at its finest here in Honolulu, Waikiki, on Oahu, in Hawaii. Much love, everybody.